So a lot of the times in Southwest Florida, there were so many different locations for me to write, it was very easy. But out here on the road as a nomadic traveler, I have kind of taken a different approach. I go from library to library, and of course, just like when I was in Southwest Florida, I did a lot of writing at my offices that I called Starbucks and Panera Bread. So those were everywhere. But here in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, there is no Starbucks per se. There's a great place downtown called Cappuccino and Coffee. I love that place. It's great. It's set up perfectly for me. It's not far from where I'm camping. And of course, behind me is the Scottsbluff Library. Earlier today, when I arrived, there was a young lady getting out of the car, and she kept looking back at her car. So I said, "Is everything okay?" Because my car was parked near hers. And she says yes. And as we walked in, I opened the door, and she was explaining to me that she was attending a book club meeting. She also invited me. I declined because I had to get me some writing done. And what happened after that was so unique. Now, for me, libraries have always been a part of my life. I remember the Julia Childs Library, not Julia Childs, Julian something, I can't remember, in St. Louis, and of course the downtown library in St. Louis, and then of course the middle school library at Turner Middle in St. Louis. That was one of the inspirations of reading, and of course the bookmobile there too. My mother made me get books. But today, the librarian, which, you know, if a librarian says something, you got to do it, she actually invites me to this book club meeting. And I go, and it was a book with the name called The Meaning of Names, which, if you take it for what it's worth, it's just what I would have think, book about names. So I go in, there's about a couple of dozen women there. Definitely everyone there is over 60. And what happened next was some of the learning aspects of a large town, or correction, small town. Everyone here that attended this particular event actually have been lifelong residents. Two, their ancestors arrived in this area as farmers, and some of them are still today farmers. It was a unique experience to speak and talk with people. Now, the book itself was authored by a lady who lives in Nebraska, and it's based on a small town in Nebraska called Stewart. And it was the prejudice of German Americans during World War I, and everyone in there could identify because they lived through World War II. And it was truly a unique aspect of how people in the heartland look at prejudice, not just black and white, but just from, as their discussions continued, how certain religions, the Protestants, the Catholics, all got along here. And I truly appreciated hearing their true comments, and as I sat in. It was a great opportunity. I really enjoyed my time, and I hope everyone who's watching these videos get an idea of that, yeah, you can travel across America, go to small towns, and no, not people who are gonna hate on you and be offset. This town of Scottsbluff, Nebraska is really nice. Got a nice downtown area, similar to Corning, New York, and I will be putting Corning back on my to return back to list. But this place is nice. I'll be here for another week or so because I encountered a young lady in North Platte, Nebraska, where it was about her explaining to me that there are black settlements in Nebraska, Kansas, and of course in Oklahoma. The one particular point to the one black settlement after the Civil War in Oklahoma is how African Americans were terrorized and forced to leave what was later called, or at the time called, the Black Wall Street, a very successful community in Oklahoma. And that is why I'm not in Montana, because I found so much information and history that I'm going to write about, and I want to learn. So that's what I do in my nomadic travels, driving around, checking out places, meeting the people, enjoying a good time, writing, reading, and a lot of photography. I'll be posting some pictures because sun's about to go down, and I'm gonna head out to Scottsbluff national monument, see if I can get on top of the mountain, capture that sun setting. Hey, y'all take care. See you soon.